Hello, my narcissistic abuse family. Here's another video. My topic is awesome. It is about how the narcissist wants us, to be dependent on them. So, whoever the narcissist in your life is, be it a parent or a romantic partner, they're going to take whatever steps they can to try to make you feel like you need them, that you depend on them. This will include financial abuse, definitely the psychological warfare that they wage on us. They're always trying to tear us down and to make us feel terrible about ourselves, like they do ultimately about themselves. So I'll hit this from both angles. So I'll start with the narc mother, this woman that I hate referring to as my mother. But for this purpose, I'm sharing with you guys the background. So this woman, my mother, she always wanted me to feel dependent and helpless. And so many situations throughout life I can recall where she was doing this, but ultimately I have this like ferocious independence. And the irony of it all is that seeing her and how helpless she is and how she, can't live without the enabler, he has to do everything for her. I took that and just ran in the opposite direction, man. Like, I always was so independent and strong willed. And I was like, no, I could do this for myself. And she did not want that because the narcissist wants us to depend on them because that gives them a fake, albeit, but it gives them a fake sense of self-importance, right? Like if this person, if my child depends on me, or anyone for that matter, it makes me important. It makes me a critical part of their life. So they can't live without me. I'm important. And it just elevates their ego that much more. And that's what they're always looking for. Have no doubt. So this woman wanted me to feel like feeble and helpless and dependent. And she was unsuccessful because I do have this indelible fire within me, which you guys probably do too if you're a black sheep. We just want better for ourselves. We just want to get the hell out of that situation. I'll tell you, that's where I was coming from. I just was so miserable in that home, in that situation. I couldn't wait to get the heck out. One particular example that always comes to mind, I've said this in videos before. It was winter and I had just recently gotten my license and they bought me a car. They bought me a Ford Escort. It was brand new, but they bought it because, they're trying to act all bougie, like they're big time, and they, by the way, like lied to me. Like they tricked me into thinking I was gonna get like a fun, cool convertible kind of car, and then they brought me like this Ford Escort, and they were like, "Oh, here, look, we got you." And I was like, "What?" Like, narcissistic parents are just immature, and they're full of this kind of stuff like trickery and just anyway. So I had this Escort and it was a legitimate blizzard. It may or may not have been a declared state of emergency, but I had a boyfriend at the time because I was always looking for a genuine connection that I was lacking in my own home. So I was like hell-bent that I was going to this guy's house. I was like, yeah, I'm not staying home. She was like, you have to stay home. You have to stay home. It's so bad out, the weather, the snow, you can't go anywhere. And she would say it like very matter-of-factly, like there's nothing you could do, like you're staying home. And I would be like, oh, okay, watch me. And so I packed up my stuff and I was like, I'm going. So I hit it was like Route 80 over here. I'm in New Jersey. I hit Route 80 and I promise you, I couldn't see shit. Like the whole road, like the road, the grass, like the land, everything was just covered in a blanket of snow. And I think there may have been a sander out, which saved me. Like I just followed that truck down the road. But anyway, that was my fighting spirit. The black sheep in me was like, I am not staying home. I am not dependent on you. You cannot tell me what to do. So off I went in this blizzard condition to get to my boyfriend's house at the time. So that was my situation with my narcissistic mother, this woman. But in terms of a romantic relationship with a narcissist, they oftentimes will financially abuse you. And this was happening to me. And I have to go back on all of this because it was like over 10 years ago that this happened. And I was young, and he was like 9 years older than me. So I was like, you know what you're doing. I gave him way too much credit than he deserved. But I was making a good amount of money at the time. I had a great job. I was like getting my graduate degree, and he was taking money from me because I was living at home until, sorry you guys, this chair. Anyway, so he was taking money from me. While he was with me, this creep was actually able to purchase a condo, flip the condo, use my credit, and buy a house. And this home was supposed to be ours. It was like, I was under the impression that this house was going to be for both of us, that we were going to live in it. And I ultimately moved into this house. But he didn't have me on the deed or anything, and he very intentionally did that. He was taking my money, no problem. But back to the financial abuse, so that's what he was doing. He was taking every dime from me he could scam and had me, buying into the big picture that this was for us, this was for our future. All the while I was, fortifying his financial foundation and his future with other people, ultimately. It was gross. But he always wanted me to believe that I was like stupid, that I needed him in some way. It's the narcissistic way. They want you to believe that you are helpless and you depend on them for something, everything, whatever. And they keep you connected like this. They keep you kind of hooked. And they mess with your head psychologically. This is what they do. And so this jerk that I was engaged to, he always tried to take advantage of me financially. He even used, my credit, because I had good credit because I was young. And, he got a hot tub. He was such a dirtball. But ultimately what he wanted was me to believe that I needed him, that I depended on him. And the cool part is when he discarded me, he totally ghosted me. I bought my own condo. I was like, and it was my friend from work, Lynn, shout out to you, that said to me, you could get your own condo, you can. And I was like, no, I don't have any money, whatever. Beauty of credit, I was able to get my own condo. And I was like, oh my God, I was so far from that independent mentality, because I just thought that I was nothing without this creep. How could I possibly do this for myself? But heck yeah, I did, and you can too. Don't let the narcissist, mind F you in that way, where you think you're nothing without them, because we are everything. And that's why they latch onto us, because they want all of our fabulousness for themselves. And we are who we are. We're just great. So the narcissist will try to trick you into believing that you are somehow dependent on them. If it's your parent, they'll absolutely do this. And it's all a ploy for self-importance. Again, if you're a partner, they'll do everything that they can underhandedly to financially deplete you. You know, they're emotionally depleting you. They just want you to feel badly about yourself and have no self-confidence. They don't want you to have any independence, like financially or any of that. So that's the narcs game, man. But we're ultimately awesome, and that's why we were targeted. So I love you all. Please please give me a thumbs up. Hopefully I gave you something of value in this video, some validation, anything. And I'll be back with another video soon. We're bumped and we're bruised, but more than anything, we are blessed because we are wise to this toxic treatment and the trauma, and we're coming out of it. See you guys soon.